Hello, folks. Um, I just want to go over the assessment plan for the anthropology major and the assessment research we did for last spring semester. Um, and this video is really for the anthropology instructors to see. Um, Here, this is straight out of the catalog, which is for the anthropology, the program mission, and what anthropology is about at York College. Again, this is you can get this right directly out of the catalog. And the requirements for the major are 30 credits. There are um, the Introduction to Cultural Anthropology, the two methods courses, Social Research 1, and then a choice of either Social Research 2 or Techniques of Cross-Cultural Research, and then finally the capstone course, which is Independent Study in Anthropology. And then there are 6 elective courses, of which at least 3 of them must be in anthropology, and 3 could also be in sociology or black studies. And for this assessment, what we are doing is looking at just the goals that uh, we we assume are the teaching goals of Cultural Anthropology 101, and to see how effective we are in doing that. Now, uh, with a discussion with other anthropology faculty, um, we have the outcome goals for the major are these 5. To articulate the concepts of culture, cultural relativism, and ethnocentrism. That is, every graduate would be able to understand these 5 things. To articulate the relationship between culture and human adaptation via human ecology, economics, social organization, and the ideology of a culture. And 3, to articulate both orally and in writing about a variety of the world's cultures and the variety in social structure and organization among the world's cultures. And finally, 4, to have had experience in the participant observation method of collecting ethnographic data. That each anthro major would have experience at doing fieldwork. And then 5, have some experience and expertise in both qualitative and quantitative research design methods. Uh, and the for each of these 5 outcome goals, on the left, the center column shows the courses where these concepts are taught. And I have the 2 red arrows here because for the 101, these are the 2 um, outcome goals we are measuring. We measured last spring to see how effective they were. And in both cases, we used the Introduction to Cultural Anthropology. These are the other 3 goals which we are not measuring now, but we will in future semesters and also in future courses. You can see the different courses where we think these particular goals are taught or should be taught. Now, the reason we started with Anthro 101 is that it's the anthropology course that most York students take. Anthro 101 is also a Gen Ed course in the new Pathways Gen Ed. Thus, it is important that Anthropology 101 contain both the CUNY Gen Ed outcome goals and the Anthropology major outcome goals. Not necessarily all of them, but at least some of them. The following two slides indicate both the Gen Ed and the anthropology outcome goals and the assignments in the course that should represent the students' learning outcomes for these goals. In the spring 2013 semester, an attempt was made to measure the extent to which these outcomes are successful or not. So for the Introduction to Anthropology, on the left column, we have the goals. On this slide, you see the general education goals. The next slide will show the anthropology goals. And the competencies that a student should be able to articulate to show that they met that goal, and the kinds of assignments in columns 3 and 4, and also any exams and quizzes where these goals would be measured. And here are in green highlight are the 5 anthropology major goals, and in this case the 2 that we are measuring here in 101, and the second column shows the competencies, the third and fourth column shows where these goals are taught in terms of where they're covered in the readings and in the exams. And okay, so for the spring 2013 semester, all Anthro 101 instructors were asked to add 2 questions to their final exams, which were to measure 2 important goals of the course. Only 2 instructors in 2 sections responded. I was one of them, and Santangelo was another. The other instructors did not respond. Now, both instructors scored the questions using the following rubric. Either the answer was an unsatisfactory answer to the question, or the student showed some understanding of the question but further work was needed, or 3, there was a satisfactory answer to the question. Now, it was felt that if at least 50% of the responses have a level 3 score, it would be considered that the goals in the course, these 2 goals, are being achieved. Now, here are the results. For question 1, which was define the following 3 concepts by reflecting on what you have learned regarding the history of cultural anthropology as a discipline and ethnographic fieldwork. And the 3 areas they were to discuss were culture, cultural relativism, and ethnocentrism. And this was given as a short essay question. 20 students responded. And of the answers, 2 were considered unsatisfactory answers. 6 of the 20 showed some understanding of the question, but further work was needed. And 12 gave a satisfactory answer, which was 60%. Now, in further thinking, originally we were thinking if half the students gave a satisfactory answer, that would be enough. But on second thought, it really should be at least 70% should be rated more or less with C level work, which would be a satisfactory answer. And the learning goal would be considered to be met. The results are 60%, so the learning goal in this particular learning goal is really not being met. And when you look at the question, this is a basic concept that we are trying to teach in Anthropology 101, and many of our students are not getting it. Now, the second question was discuss the major differences in social organization and subsistence practices between hunting and gathering bands and tribal societies. While answering, also address the following questions. A, what is the connection between culture and human adaptation? B, does the relationship to natural or developed environments play any role in the way their social organization and economic systems are structured? Why or why not? And then C, would a change or disturbance of the environment affect their cultures? Again, we had 20 students who responded. Six, which are 30%, had an unsatisfactory answer. Five, or 25%, showed some understanding, but further work was needed. And nine, or 45% of the responses had a satisfactory answer. Again, if we assume that we should aim for at least 70% to do C-level work in terms of uh, giving a satisfactory answer, the learning goal would be considered met. Our results are 45%, so the learning goal was not met. This instruction goal needs much further work in our classes. Now, additional shortcomings. The results are not reliable for two reasons. One, only two instructors responded, and we normally have uh, at least 4 or 5 anthropology sections done by at least 3 instructors. And one instructor, which was in my case myself, made the questions optional. So only students who could answer a question did so. This was a mistake on my part. For the 5 students in that class who were selected, we didn't ask every student uh, uh, to answer the question. Or no, we did, but we only measured, I think, every fourth or every third student that replied. So for the 5 students in that my class who were selected, but they didn't answer the question, that was considered an unsatisfactory answer. The assumption was they didn't answer it because they didn't know the answer, and the questions were extra point. Again, this was a weakness of the study uh, that I made. Plus, we didn't have enough instructors responding. Now, future plans. In the fall of 2013, the same questions were asked again of all instructors this section. However, they all did not participate. Again, only 2 instructors did. And those results will be presented in the next analysis. And then for the spring of 2014, uh, the Anthropology 490, which is the independent study in anthropology, which is the capstone course for the major, where students must produce a major paper based on original research, either ethnographic fieldwork or some type of survey research. These papers will be analyzed by anthropology instructors who are not the instructor of the course. In this case, I am the instructor. We only have 3 students in it for the spring, and I will be asking some of the other adjunct instructors to assess um, uh, these papers in terms of do they are they showing evidence of the 5 goals that we want an anthropology major uh, to be able to express by the end of their career. And that's all, and thank you very much.